What does it really mean for an AI to think? Today we're diving deep into Entity Framework Core. Interview Mastery. 83% of .NET hiring managers test EF Core proficiency during technical interviews. Most candidates fail to go beyond basic CRUD. The gap is not knowledge, it's depth under pressure. Interview.net builds the architecture-level fluency that hiring panels reward. But here's where it gets interesting. The interview gap. Standard prep covers syntax, not strategy. Candidates can scaffold a Camintex, but can't explain change tracking lifecycle. Interviewers probe query translation, concurrency, and ownership models. Existing resources assume a tutorial-pace interviews demand real-time system reasoning. So what's the real problem? Let's talk about root cause. Learning paths isolate EF Core from the runtime. Interview questions test integrated behavior, LINQ SQL transaction scope connection resilience. Without a mental model of the full pipeline, answers collapse. The cause is fragmented documentation-style teaching. This raises a critical question: breakthrough, runtime-first learning. Interview.net inverts the model: learn the engine, not just the API. Every module connects a concrete interview scenario to internal EF Core machinery. This converts "I've used EF Core" into "I can predict and explain its behavior." Precision replaces memorization. Now let's zoom in on platform architecture. Interview.net is a three-layer system: exploration, verification, simulation. Exploration, interactive runtime visualizations of compactas, change tracker, compiled queries. Verification, adaptive question engine targeting depth gaps. Simulation, timed, pressure-tested interview sessions with real-world .NET scenarios. Here's something most people overlook: core domain modules. Query pipeline, LINQ expression trees, SQL generation server evaluation. State management, change tracker graph, detect changes, snapshot versus proxy. Transactions and concurrency, optimistic concurrency tokens, save changes interceptions. Performance and design, split queries, compiled queries, compactance pooling, owned entities. Think about this for a second. Visual system maps. Each module unfolds as a layered architecture diagram. The UI renders the runtime. Expressions transform into SQL right on screen. Callouts pinpoint exactly where interview questions strike. Text labels insight. Visuals carry the system behavior. And this is where things get complex. Learning workflow. Diagnose, intelligent gap analysis identifies weak spots, e.g., AsNoTracking, table per type. Explore, interactive runtime sandbox with guided breakdown. Validate, scenario-based drills with instant architectural feedback. Interview, live simulations judged on both correctness and explanation clarity. But here's where it gets interesting. Technical depth, query translation. Question: how does EF Core translate a filtered include? Interview.net shows the full pipeline: LINQ method call expression, query compilation context, SQL join with predicate. Candidates learn to articulate nav expansion, Cartesian explosion, and filter application order. No more guessing, only system-level answers. So what's the real problem? Let's talk about impact metrics. Beta users showed 2.3x improvement in architectural explanation scores. 74% passed the EF Core deep dive round at top tech companies. Time to confidence dropped from weeks to 3 sessions. Hiring managers reported candidates who think like EF Core engineers. This raises a critical question: why now? .NET 9 pushes EF Core deeper into cloud-native and microservice architectures. Interview expectations now include Cosmos DB provider behavior interceptors and bulk operations. Surface-level CRUD knowledge is no longer competitive. Interview.net aligns your mental model with the modern EF Core runtime. Now let's zoom in on next: adaptive interview intelligence. real-time speech analysis will provide feedback on explanation structure. Custom interview packs for Teams, Microsoft, Stack Overflow, FinTech, expansion into broader .NET runtime systems, ASP.NET Core Internals, Roslyn, Kestrel. The goal: make system-level thinking the default .NET interview outcome.